Hello my fellow working class heroes, good day. I am Carlo and welcome to Carlo Excels. These are the objectives of this episode. We're gonna learn about the left, right, mid, and LEN functions. First, we're gonna learn about their definitions and then their applications. Let's start with the left function. From the help documents of Microsoft Excel, left function returns the first or leftmost character or characters in a text string based on the number of characters you specify. For the left function, the function name is left, and for the function arguments, you have two. First, you need the text, and then you need the number of characters. On the screen right now, you will see 5 rows with all 26 letters of the alphabet, and this is where we'll practice the left function. So say for example, we want just the first letter of this long string of text here. So let's use the left function for that. So let's press the equal sign and then press left like so and then open parenthesis. So now the left function is looking for the first argument, which is the original text. So we click on that and then press comma. Now after we press comma, it's now looking for the next argument, which is the number of characters. Here we specify how many characters do we need from the leftmost part of the text string. So in this case, let's say for example, we just want the first character. So number of characters, we just press 1 because we just want one character. We close the parenthesis and then we press enter. So you will see that the left function will now return A because you're telling Microsoft Excel, take the text string in cell A1 and give me back the first or only one character from the leftmost part. So that is why you get back A. Actually, taking the leftmost character in a text string can be done if you do not enter the number of characters. Say for example, you put in here equals and then left as the function name and then you specify the text string. If you immediately close the parenthesis like so without specifying the number of characters and then press enter, the left function is going to assume that you meant just one character and will return A. Next, let's try 3 characters. So we do this left like so, open parenthesis. Once again, we specify the text over here and then this time let's try returning 3 characters like so. And if you do so, you will see now the left function returns ABC. So let's try 4 characters, equals left, original text over here, comma, and then 4 characters, you get ABCD. Let's try 5 characters, left, original text, comma, 5 as the number of characters, and you get A, B, C, D, and E. The left function is actually quite handy if you just want the middle initial but you are given the middle name. Take for example our sample list of students over here on the screen. So what we have here is the last name of students in this column, then we have here the first names of students in this column, and you have here the middle name. Say for example, you want the naming format to be first name and then middle initial, not the middle name, middle initial and then the last name. So for this operation, we're going to need something that I already taught in a previous lesson, which is the lesson on combining text. Please check the descriptions of this video and you will find there the link to our lesson on combining text. So let's do that. First name first. So press equal sign and then we want this. These are the first name, so we want this and then ampersand. Then you have here the space like so. Now we want here the middle name, but instead of having the full middle name, we just need the middle initial, just the first letter, and we can use the left function for that. So after the ampersand, we put in here left like so, and then we specify the text here, and then we specify we just want the first letter of the middle name like so. So left and then text and then the number of characters, which is 1. Afterwards, we can continue with the name. So ampersand. Of course, after the middle initial, you need a period for that. So period, space, close quotation, ampersand, last name, like so. And when you press enter, you have here first name, and then middle initial with a period, and then last name. Of course, copy that all the way down here, and in seconds, you now have first name, middle initial, last name. Next, we have the right function. The right function, from Microsoft Excel's own help document, returns the last or rightmost character or characters in a text string based on the number of characters you specify. For the right function, the function name is right, and for the function arguments, you have two. First, you need the original text, and then you need the number of characters. From the definition of the right function, I hope you already noticed that the right function is actually almost exactly the same as the left function. The only difference is that the left function takes characters from the leftmost, and the right function takes characters from the rightmost. So once again, we have here our 5 rows of letters, and once again, we have here all 26 letters of the alphabet. So let's try getting the last letter of this string of text here. So we use the right function for that. Press the equal sign, call out the function name like so, right, and then for the text, we specify that this is the text we want, and then, comma, we specify the number of characters for the next argument. So we press here 1, meaning we just want the rightmost 1 character. We close parenthesis, and then we press enter. And then, of course, you have the result as Z. Just like the left function, if you do not specify a number of characters, the right function will automatically assume it to be 1. So let's try that. Right function, and then we pick this as text, and then we do not specify a number of characters, and then we just close the parenthesis. So the result is going to be Z. Again, if you do not specify a number of characters, then the right function is going to assume that the number of characters is 1. So let's use the right function to get the 3 rightmost characters in the cell. So let's try that. Right function, click this for text, and then let's put in the number of characters as 3, and you will get XYZ. Let's try 4 characters, right function, and then click that as the text, and then specify number of characters as 4, and you get WXYZ. Now let's try 5. So right function, click this as the text, and then 5 characters, and then you get VWXYZ. Now, the mid function. The mid function from Microsoft Excel's own help document returns a specific number of characters from a text string, starting at the position you specify based on the number of characters you specify. For the mid function, the function name is mid, and for the function arguments, you have 3 arguments here. First, you need the original text, and then you need the start num or the starting position, and then you need the number of characters. Once again, we have here our 5 rows with all 26 letters of the alphabet. Let's try the mid function here. So for comparison, the left function takes characters from the leftmost part of the text string. The right function takes characters from the rightmost function of the text string, and the mid function takes characters from the middle of a text string. So let's try at the mid function. So we press the equal sign, and then let's call out the mid function like so, open parenthesis. First, you need the text, so let's click on the original text and press comma over here. Now, the next thing that the mid function is going to ask for is the start num. In other words, the starting position where you will start getting text from. So say, for example, we want to start with letter D, and then we want to take 5 characters. So if you look at the text string, you have here A, B, C, D. So D is on the the fourth character in that text string. So D is considered as your starting position. So since that's where we want to start getting characters from, start num is going to be 4, like so. And then I mentioned a while ago, we start with D, and then we take 5 characters. So take 4, and then number of characters will be 5 because we want to take 5 characters like so. And when we press enter, you have here what we asked for. Starting position is 4, so therefore it starts with D, and then 5 characters. So you have D, E, F, G, H. So let's try another one, mid function, and then the text over here. So let's try the 11th letter, which is letter K, and then this time let's try 3 characters. So the 11th letter is K, so A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K is on the 11th position. So starting number is 11, and then number of characters 3. So what we will have is KLM. And next we have the LEN function. From Microsoft Excel's own help document, the LEN function returns the number of characters in a text string. For the LEN function, the function name is LEN, and for the function arguments, you have just one. You just need the original text. So what is the LEN function? The LEN function simply counts the number of characters in a particular text string. So for example, you have here ABC. Just, by looking at it, we can already see that you have 3 characters, A, B, and C. So let's try the len function for that. Len, and then the original text. And as expected, the answer will be 3. Next, we have here A, B, C, D, E. As expected, we are expecting rather 5 characters here. So let's try the len function. Len, open parenthesis, the original text, like so. And then we have here 5. Next, we're expecting 4, W, X, Y, Z. So len, and then here, the text. And then we have 4. Please note that the len function counts all characters. So when we say all characters, that includes any symbols like exclamation points, question marks, periods, etc. and even counts spaces. For example, we have here A, B, C, X, Y, Z. So there are in fact 7 characters here because you have A, B, C, the space in between, which is the 4th character, and then X, Y, Z. So that's 7 characters total. So let's try here, len, and then the original text. And as expected, the answer is going to be 7. So we have here our list of 200 students. Let's try to find out who has the longest name in terms of number of characters. So let's try here len, and then this text here like so. So this name has 30 characters total, which includes of course the spaces and the commas. So let's copy this and paste it all the way down. And of course, to find out who has the longest name, let's arrange this by, let's arrange the number of characters by greatest to smallest. The longest name is 38 characters, and it is Miss Blakesley here. Of course, for many of you, I highly doubt that you're going to count the number of characters in your students' names. So some of you are probably wondering, what could you ever use the len function for? The len function by itself is very rarely used, but the len function is very, very important, especially when you use it together with other functions, such as the left, the right, and the mid functions. Now here's a problem that we teachers frequently run into. So we ask for a list of students, and the list that they give us is the following. The problem is there seems to be this numbering right in front of the list of students, and we want to quickly remove the numbering. Problem is the numbering does not seem to be something that is easy to remove. This is easy to remove, of course, using the replace command, as you've learned in a previous lesson. If you haven't, please check the description below, and I will put there the link to the replace command lesson. But if you want to use a formula for this to happen automatically, you can use a combination of the left function and the len function to quickly remove the numberings right before the names. Let me first explain the process of how we're going to build this function. So let's see here. Let's inspect here this name. You have here Abby. This is the name of the student, but right before the name of the student, you have 4 characters that you do not need. So you have the number 1, that's the first character, the period is the second character, the close parenthesis symbol is the third character, and the space afterwards is the 4th character. So you have 4 characters that you do not need. So because the same is true with all of these other names here with numbers that are only in the single digits, let's just copy paste this and then drag it all the way down here. Next, for this student here, Ashworth, this student is assigned number 10, and in this case you now have 5 characters right before the name that you do not need. You do not need the 1, the 0, the period, the close parenthesis symbol, and then the space. So in this case, you need to remove 5 digits. And in this case, the 5 digits, you do not need that, and that is the same for all of the others that have 2-digit numbers before their names. So you have here 5 characters that you do not need. And I think you can already see the pattern here. You have, in this case, 3-digit numbers. So you have here 6 digits, or rather 6 characters before the names that you do not need. So you have here 6. And then let's copy that all the way down to the very last student, because all of them have 3-digit numbers and 3 characters after that right before their name. And all of that you do not need. Next, Let's try doing a len function here just to count the number of characters in each name, including, of course, the characters that you do not need. So len here. So you have here 34 characters, and then let's copy that all the way down here. So you have all of these characters for all of these names. Next, let's try the right function because we want to get characters from the right part of the text. So let's try the right function here, and this is going to be the original text. But in this case, for the number of characters, let's try the number that we derived from the len function. So instead of specifying a constant number of characters, let's try specifying this cell reference as the number of characters, close parenthesis, and press enter. Now you will see, of course, that because there are 34 characters in this cell, you're asking Microsoft Excel to take the rightmost 34 characters. So naturally, Microsoft Excel took all of the characters in that cell. But watch what happens when instead of just putting here the rightmost 34 characters you see on the formula bar up top, A1 and the number of characters C1, let's try the number of characters C1, which is 34, C1 minus 1. In other words, you're deducting 1 from 34. So the result of C1 minus 1, 34 minus 1 is 33. So right function, deducting a right function, 33 characters only. When you press enter, you will now notice that the leftmost character has now been removed because you removed one character from the argument of number of characters. Next, let's try removing 2 characters. So C1 instead of minus 1, you have here minus 2. Then you now, of course, notice that the period is now gone because you're taking only 34 minus 2. C1 minus 2, 34 minus 2 is 32. So you're taking only the 32 characters on the right. So 32 characters on the right, that removes the 1 in the period. So that removes the 1 in the period. Now let's try 3 characters. And you now have just the name. There is a space right before the name. And you have the name. So we removed all of the visible characters. And if you have 4 here, this is exactly what we want. The name of the student, removing all of the characters before the name of the student. So essentially, what we did was, we took the right function, we specified the original text here, and then we used the len function, in this case, the number of characters, which is in column C, C1 here. We use the len function, and then we remove the number of characters we wanted. We can replace this constant here with what we already prepared beforehand, which is this cell B1. So C1 minus B1. Enter. And this is exactly what we want now. The rightmost characters, removing the 4 characters on the left that we do not need. So if we copy that and then paste it all the way down here, what we need is already there. The names of the students, removing the specified number of characters before the names. So that is how you use the len function in conjunction with the right function. Next example, you have here a list of students, but instead of just giving you a list of students, they give you the list of students plus their general average. Problem is, you do not need their general average, and it's going to be a pain to have to manually edit this. This can easily be done, these numbers, these averages here can easily be done by using the left function in conjunction with the len function. Now let's examine the data that we have. We have here the name of the student, but after the name of the student, you have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters after the name of the student that you do not need. So let's type in the left function like so, left. We want this original text here and then comma. Next, we're asked the number of characters. Now, for each and every one of these names here, of course, they all have different numbers of characters. So let's try the len function. For the len function to count how many characters there are in the name that we're concerned with. So in this name, so the len function here. And then we already know that we need to remove 8 characters from the right. So that is where you put here -8, like so. So you're telling Microsoft Excel, count the number of characters in this name here and then subtract 8, meaning remove the 8 characters that you do not need. The remaining number here, get the leftmost characters with that number. When you press enter, that is your result. So using the left function in conjunction with the len function, you removed the 8 rightmost characters. And of course, if you copy that and then paste that all the way down here, you have your result. Removed the 8 rightmost characters using the left and the len function. Now in this example, we have combined problems of the 2 previous problems we tackled. So you asked for the list of students, but they gave you a numbered list of students with the averages of these students. And problem is, you only need the names. So how will you remove the data that you do not need and get just the names? Well, one way to do it would be to do this. You do the operation that we did with the right plus len function and get the result from that, and then do the operation that we did a while ago using the len and the left function. Or what we can do is we can use the mid and the len function to get the result immediately. First of all, let's identify the number of characters on the left that we do not need. We did this a while ago, so we already know that 1-digit numbers here have 4 characters that we do not need, like so. For the 2-digit numbers, for the students with the 2-digit numbers here, they have 5 characters on the left that we do not need. So let's copy that and paste that all the way down there. And then for the 3-digit students with the 3-digit numbers here, there are 6 characters on the left that we do not need. So let's copy that and paste that all the way down there. So let's just center this for consistency purposes, and there's that. Next, let's identify the number of characters on the right that we do not need. So for all of these names here, there are 8 characters on the right that we do not need, as we did this already a while ago. So let's just put 8 here, and then let's copy that all the way here. So for all of those names, there are 8 characters on the right that we do not need. So we now have the data that we need here. So let's try the mid function. So mid, and then text. Of course, this is the starting text, comma. Next thing that the mid function is asking for is the starting position. So we already know that for this name here, for this text here, there are 4 characters that we do not need. So therefore, if there are 4 characters that we do not need, the mid function has to start on the 5th character. 4 characters you do not need, so therefore you start on the 5th character. So what we can do is take this number as the starting position plus 1. So by putting here plus 1, you're saying start the number on the, right after the characters that you do not need. After we press comma, the next argument that the mid function is asking for is how many characters should we take? Now we already know that the number of characters we should take is the number of characters in this name minus the number of unwanted characters on the left minus the number of unwanted characters on the right. So we can do that. So the len function will identify the number of total characters in this name, and then we subtract the number of characters we do not need from the left minus the number of characters we do not need from the right, like so. So once again, in the arguments, the text that we need is this. We start with the number of characters we do not need plus 1 on the left, and then we take the number of characters is taken by the total number of characters minus the number of characters we do not need on the left minus the number of characters we do not need on the right, close parenthesis, and when we press enter, we have the result that we want. We removed the number of the characters we do not need on the left and the characters we do not need on the right. And of course, if we copy that and then paste that all the way down there, you will get what we have we now have the full names of the students without the unwanted characters by using a combination of the mid and the len functions. So that's it for our lesson on the left, the right, the mid, and the len functions. Once again, I am Carlo, and this is Carlo Excels. Thank you very much for watching.